Right now at 6, authorities in Jasper County respond after an SUV crashes into a creek.
And we have an alert day today as we head into the afternoon. Showers, thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms with all hazards possible. We'll break that down for you coming up.
Plus, residents in Lamar, Missouri present a plan to the city council to save the Lamar Aquatic Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is Tuesday. We have an alert day today.
Right, yes.
As we've got strong to severe thunderstorms that'll start rolling into the area by this afternoon. And today's not our only severe threat day. We've got strong to severe thunderstorms possible tomorrow. Thursday could see strong storms Friday and Saturday. It's just going to be a very active week with thunderstorm chances. Let's start with what we're looking at here. So here's what we've got for the next few days. Today, we have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across a good portion of the area. All hazards possible. Very large hail seems to be the primary concern with storms this afternoon. And we're looking at about between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. is the best opportunity for the more organized, widespread severe weather out there. Tomorrow, it's a little lower and a little more confined, a low to elevated risk along and south of Interstate 44. But Thursday, we all get back in on the action. Low to elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. Thursday looks to be in the evening and into the late night hours. And tomorrow is one of those odd situations. We've had them before, but they're not common, where these thunderstorms are going to be in the first half of the day, not in the afternoon, like we're used to around here. We are at 70 in Joplin right now, 71 in Pittsburgh, so a very warm start to the day, an unusually, unseasonably warm start to the day. A little cooler, Carthage, Neosho, Monette, Cassville, Anderson into the 60s. Everyone else, though, still into the low 70s out there. And bear in mind that our average high for this time of year is the upper 70s. Kids get on the bus, not bad. 71, sunny, south winds gusting to 25. And that's the other side of this coin, is ahead of the storms and outside of these storms, south winds could be gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. So we're going to have to contend with that. Again, by 3 into southeastern Kansas, thunderstorms begin to develop. They're going to fire up rather quickly and intensify rather quickly. 87, and again, those south winds gusting to 40. Today, again, thunderstorms, best chances for widespread organized severe weather between 3 and 10 p.m. tonight. Will still be breezy, temperatures well above average into the upper 80s. And we're going to break down this here. We have that possibility of some isolated showers or storms prior to the main event, and some of those could be on the strong side if we see them. We'll break that all down in detail and talk about these severe chances in the full forecast a little later. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities in Montgomery County, Kansas say a teenager who drowned over the weekend at Big Hill Lake had just graduated high school hours before. Authorities say 17-year-old Alonzo Juan drowned in the lake swimming area Saturday afternoon, just hours after he received his diploma from Field Kinley High School. Juan's parents live in Guatemala. A GoFundMe has been established to return his body back to them. You can find a link on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Sam Butcher, the founder and creative force behind Precious Moments artwork, has died. The company shared the news yesterday through their Facebook page, saying in part, quote, "Although the sorrow is great, it is our prayer that the appreciation and celebration of his legacy be even greater," end quote. According to the Precious Moments website, Butcher began a drawing at an early age. The public was first introduced to the Precious Moments artwork in 1975 on greeting cards and posters. The first figurines debuted in 1978. The Precious Moments Chapel first opened its doors in 1989 in Carthage, Missouri. Sam Butcher was 85 years old. Authorities in Jasper County respond to reports of a car crashing into a creek. The call came in just before 8 yesterday morning. Troopers say a westbound driver on Baseline Boulevard overcorrected and drove off the left side of the road into the Slater Branch Creek, taking out a sign and slamming into a tree. The driver of the vehicle refused medical treatment, though was later taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. Crews battle a blaze on board a train engine early Sunday morning. The call came in just after 2:45 to Cherokee County authorities. Columbus Fire Rescue joined the effort, assisting rail staff to avoid the spread of fire to the rest of the unit. No injuries were reported. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Carthage, Missouri City Council had set a date for an impeachment hearing for Mayor Dan Rife. City leaders will meet on June 5th at 4 p.m. to discuss the mayor's impeachment. Yesterday, they overrode the mayor's veto to set the hearing. This comes after months-long dispute over efforts to remove City Administrator Greg Dagnon from office. Mayor Rife opposed the efforts by council members, and now with the aid of the outside legal counsel, the council members will attempt to prove Mayor Dan Rife may not have been doing his job properly, but not all the council members seem to be on board.
On the council too, and not everyone is feeling the same way. And I just want people to really believe and follow their hearts and do what they think is really best for the city. Is it best interest of the city to go for an impeachment hearing and all the money that that's going to cost? Is it in the best interest for us to all fight and bicker? I've said it over and over again. If we would all work as a team, this team we have here, we have a lot of good brains sitting in this room, but we're not working as a team, and we need to be working as a team.
The city has another special meeting scheduled for today at 7 p.m. You can find more information about past council meetings and the ongoing dispute on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, more than a month after the city of Lamar, Missouri began accepting bids for the removal of its aquatic center, some citizens have a plan to save it. The Save the Pool group presented their proposal to the city council. They say they found a contractor who looked at the center and came up with some ideas on how to restore and reopen it.
This month we have really worked hard. We have brought in a contractor who renovates and refurbishes pools and had him look at our assets that we have left there. And his first remarks is, he says, "Why do you want to bulldoze these assets?" He says, "There's a lot of money sitting here." So tonight what we want to do is present an alternative to what the city can look to.
The center has been closed for several years due to issues including leaks, low attendance, and staffing shortages. The next stop on the Great American Flag Swap 2024 takes place today at Jake's Fireworks in Pittsburgh at noon. People can bring in their old tattered flags to be replaced with brand new ones courtesy of KOAM and Fox 14. The old flags will receive a proper disposal. The event always serves as a great way to give something to the community and support veterans. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Environmental Protection Agency is warning of a cybersecurity threat to public water systems. Plus, Robert Costello returns to the witness stand today in Trump's hush money trial. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Memorial Park in Webb City. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the Environmental Protection Agency is warning of a cybersecurity threat to public water systems. The agency says 70% of the water utilities it inspected doesn't meet the standards from the Safe Drinking Water Act to prevent attacks. Some of the issues include outdated passwords and easily compromised login information. EPA and national security officials say letters have been sent to governors across the U.S. about the threats and the importance of taking action to repair the issues and create stronger cybersecurity protections. Officials say China, Russia, and Iran have all already disrupted water systems with cyber attacks. The first defense witness in former President Donald Trump's so-called hush money trial, Robert Costello, returns to the witness stand today after prosecutors rested their case yesterday. Costello was called to counter the testimony of star prosecution witness Michael Cohen, but he made some fireworks of his own in the courtroom. It followed more explosive testimony from Cohen, who admitted under oath that he stole thousands of dollars from the Trump Organization. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Today in court, former President Donald Trump's defense is back, trying to poke holes in Michael Cohen's testimony with a witness of their own, former Cohen advisor Robert Costello. This comes after a fiery Monday on the stand. At one point, Judge Juan Merchan ordered the jury out of the room and reprimanded Costello for talking over him, rolling his eyes and making comments under his breath.
The person that the jury most identifies with is the judge. So it's not a good thing for the defense to put on a witness where it's apparent that the judge is not pleased with that witness.
The prosecution rested yesterday. In his fourth day on the stand, their star witness, ex-Trump fixer Michael Cohen, admitted to stealing money from the Trump Organization. In 2017, the Trump Organization owed a technology company $50,000. Cohen said he paid them about $20,000 in cash in a brown paper bag and kept the rest. "You stole from the Trump Organization, right?" asked Trump attorney Todd Blanche. "Yes, sir," Cohen said. Cohen defended his actions, saying he was angry his bonus had been cut and felt he was owed the money.
Michael Cohen is such a proven liar that why would it surprise us that he's also a thief?
This case should be terminated.
Later, the defense moved to dismiss the charges which accused Trump of falsifying business records to hide so-called hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels over an alleged sexual encounter, all of which Trump denies. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Judge Juan Merchan didn't make a decision on the defense's motion to dismiss the charges yesterday, but could in the future. Also yesterday, the judge told both sides to be prepared to begin closing arguments next week, with sources telling us that it's unlikely that the former president will testify in the case at all. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we do have an alert day today for strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Best chances between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear now. There are storms off to our north, and they're going to stay that way for now. And then again, later this evening, when that cold front approaches, we'll see storms develop. Great view, though. Beautiful start to the day, but it's going to be breezy as winds out of the south gust upwards of 40. Highs today well above normal into the upper 80s once again. We're going to break down that severe threat today, tomorrow, and look at what we're expecting for the rest of the week in the full forecast when we come back.
Well, some cats are just not meant to stay inside and cuddle. Some prefer to be outside with a job to do, and even those cats need to be adopted. Steve Nielsen has more on how to adopt a working cat.
They're great cats.
You're so cute. You're such a good girl.
But they may just not be for your home. Every cat that goes through the Arizona Humane Society is checked for their behavior, and some felines just aren't indoor cats.
We really had a need for these cats that aren't quite friendly enough for adoption, and we wanted to find them places to go. And obviously a lot of people are not always looking for a cat that doesn't want to like snuggle with you and hang out.
So these cats are called working cats.
Our working cats are not suitable for indoor living, and so they're not able to go up for general adoption.
For a $25 adoption fee, these cute kitties can live outdoors, working hard for your property while lounging in the sun.
Businesses, breweries, greenhouses, warehouses, and also just farms. And where they're out on people's farms, they help with pest control.
Yeah, that's the working part, pest control. No chemicals or trapping, it's just cats.
It's environmentally safe for their area, it's safe for the cats, and it's obviously a wonderful place for the cats because they provide shelter, food, water, love, and care, and the cats provide them a service too.
They're spayed and neutered, vaccinated, microchipped, just like every other cat they adopt at the Humane Society. The only difference? These ones have a job.
How cute. Maybe we need a KOAM cat over here. Well, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got our alert day today. A beautiful start to the day, but thunderstorms increasing this afternoon and evening. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 on the dot here on this Tuesday morning. It is an alert day, and here's why. We're looking at strong to severe thunderstorms by this afternoon and evening. We have a low to elevated tornado threat across the area. We have an elevated to enhanced hail risk. So in the red, that's where the better probabilities or the better chances for seeing hail are. But in the hash marked area, which is almost the entire region, if you do see hail, that means you've got a chance of what they call very large hail, which would be 2 inches in diameter or greater. And then we have a low to elevated wind threat. Today, though, not our only severe risk day. We head into Wednesday. It's a little lower, a little more confined, but we have a low to elevated risk for severe storms along and south of I-44. Tomorrow is one of those rare days, or at least uncommon days, where the severe threat and the threat for thunderstorms is in the first half of the day, not the second half. Thursday, though, a more common one. We go back to a low to elevated risk across the majority of the area, in fact, the entire area here, and these thunderstorms expected as we head into the evening and late night hours on Thursday. Let's talk about today. I was just looking at some of the other, there's a number of short-term models that we look at for forecasting, especially for day of. There's a couple of them that are under the impression that we could still potentially see strong to severe thunderstorms as early as maybe 11 o'clock in parts of southeastern Kansas. Now, these chances are still low, but this future track is showing that. It's a possibility. If we do, these could be strong, potentially severe as early as 11. Again, the probabilities are low, but they're not zero. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. The better chances for organized, widespread severe weather is going to come between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. So let's go down the road. Here we are at 3. We have this frontal boundary out here. We're going to get thunderstorms in what you'll sometimes hear referred to as explosive development, simply meaning these storms are going to fire up quickly. They're going to become severe quickly. They're going to organize quickly. And then we're going to get a line of strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Here we are at 5. You can see those storms intensifying along the front as they slide into southwestern Missouri, Nevada, Lamar, just outside of Joplin, Pittsburgh, and just exiting Fort Scott by 5. So that's the other thing. They're going to be in and out. Back behind this, you're already in the clear in southeast Kansas by 5. If you're in Chanute, Parsons, Fredonia, Yates Center, by 7. Bigger line of thunderstorms. Some intensification is possible. This is where the wind and hail become the bigger concern as this front slides off to the south and east by 7. And then by 10, that's it. The last of them are out of here, and we're going to have a pause overnight. And then very early tomorrow morning, clouds quickly increase. By the time we go on the air, here's a few showers out there initially, and then we're going to see thunderstorms rolling in between 5 and 7 tomorrow morning. And some of these storms, again, especially at this point along and south of I-44, could be strong to severe. Then as we head through the rest of our Wednesday morning, we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms. A strong storm or two is possible, but the severe threat's a bit lower. Here we are at noon, more scattered storms tomorrow, and then by about 3 o'clock, those storms are out of here, and then we'll see additional storms as we head into our Friday out there, or Thursday, as well. 70 in Joplin right now. Beautiful start to the day. However, that wind's going to increase. Outside of these thunderstorms, ahead of all of this, we're going to have south winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. So we got to contend with that. But again, otherwise, a beautiful start to the day. Temperatures around the region, a little cooler out to the east into the 60s in Neosho, Monette, Cassville, and Iola now at 69. The rest of us still low 70s. And keep in mind, especially if you look at Chanute at 74, our average high is only about 3 degrees warmer than where we're sitting right now. That's where we're getting the instability. That's where we're getting this fuel, is we have a lot of that available for us. And we've talked about the cap that stops thunderstorm development. It is not in place today. It's not in place right now either, which is why some of those models feel we could see thunderstorms developing a little earlier. Again, through the morning, though, beautiful start. Clouds gradually increasing. We'll go about 81 by 11 o'clock. Highs today, upper 80s out there, pushing near 90. Again, the thunderstorms later today. Storms in the first half of our Wednesday, a little cooler. Mid-70s. We warm back up into the weekend. More storms on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A break Sunday and Monday. A few showers Tuesday. And then by the middle of next week, we'll have an opportunity to calm down for a little bit out there. That's a check of your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Like smokers who turn to e-cigarettes or vaping devices may be at a higher risk for lung cancer. New international research looks at more than 4 million people with a history of smoking. Former smokers who had quit for 5 years or more and used e-cigarettes were at a greater risk of lung cancer-related death than ex-smokers who hadn't used e-cigarettes. Those who had quit for less time and vaped had a higher risk of both lung cancer and dying from it. Scientists looking to close the gap on brain research in Black Americans have identified key genes that account for higher rates of some neurological disorders like Alzheimer's disease and stroke. The data in the journal Nature Neuroscience also found genetic evidence for a decrease in other diseases in Black Americans, including Parkinson's. And whether you count steps or minutes, it all adds up to better longevity and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston found both metrics were equally beneficial for improved health outcomes, suggesting a time or step goal may not be as important as choosing a goal aligned with your personal preferences. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, drivers in Crawford County can expect increased police presence for the holiday weekend.
And we have an alert day today. Severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and evening. All hazards possible. We'll break down that forecast for you coming up.
Plus, the Joplin Public Library celebrates the return of some familiar faces.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So it is an alert day here in the 4 states. We've been talking about severe weather this week for the past several days, and it is here.
Yes.
Well, it will be here. And let's take a look at what those severe threats look like, because today, not our only potential for severe weather. We have the elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We do have tomorrow a low to elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms, primarily along and south of I-44. And then we have that same elevated low risk or low to elevated risk on Thursday across the entire region once again. Timing today looks to be primarily 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. There's the possibility we could see some storms earlier than that. We're going to go over that in detail with the full forecast a little later here. Tomorrow is one of those one-off days where the primary threat for strong to severe thunderstorms is going to be in the first half of the day, in the morning hours, and then we'll actually calm down by the afternoon. Thursday, though, returns us to our typical expectations for severe weather timing, as it'll be later into the evening and late night hours across the area on our Thursday. Let's get you out the door right now. Right now, you wouldn't know. Other than those of us, you've lived here forever, you know something doesn't feel right. It's a little muggy outside. It's a little warm outside. We're sitting at 70 in Joplin, 71 in Pittsburgh. Skies are clear. Temperatures around the region, again, not where we're supposed to be. We are a little cooler. Iola, Neosho, Monette, and Cassville. Everyone else, low 70s. And even take a look. Chanute, Veneta, for example, they're at 74. It's only 3 degrees off of what our average high is supposed to be for this time of year. So we have the instability in place. We've got the fuel for the fire, if you will. Now we're just waiting for that match, and that match is expected later this afternoon with a cold front coming in. Kids get on the bus this morning. Sunny, breezy, winds gusting to 25 out of the south, 71. And that's the other issue, is in between here and the storms, we're going to have winds out of the south gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. So if you're traveling on any east-west highways, you got to keep that in mind. Outside of the storms, we're going to have gusty south winds. By 3, scattered showers and thunderstorms developing out there, starting in southeastern Kansas. Will be 87 when that bus brings the kids back home. Again, we could see a few storms possibly earlier than the main group. We'll talk about that in detail here in a moment. Otherwise, primary threat for widespread severe weather comes between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. And again, temperatures today well above normal, upper 80s. Some of you may make 90 degrees again today. We'll have another full look at your forecast. We'll break down the storm thunderstorm chances today and what we're looking at for our Wednesday here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office announced a traffic enforcement campaign for Memorial Day. More deputies will be patrolling highways and secondary roads this weekend. That's thanks to the Special Traffic Enforcement Program grant. Officers involved with the seasonal campaign can track their overtime hours in contact with the public to receive extra overtime in return. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, patrolling deputies are keeping an eye out for drivers traveling at unsafe speeds, impaired, and other traffic infractions.
The campaigns are good. They get people that are on the street to travel safely to and from where they're going, and the other motorists around them safe. It's good to have a law enforcement presence, and the statistics show that due to media and social media that people are aware of the increased patrol and people are following the traffic laws. So I believe that enforcement helps keep the roadway safer.
The campaign will continue until June 2nd. A donation is giving a special garden in Carl Junction a new life. Mindy Doyle graduated from Carl Junction High School in 1997, then spent 13 years working for the school's special education department. She passed away from cancer last May. The school established a garden in her honor, and yesterday Southern Stars Gas Pipeline donated $1,000 worth of plants to honor her memory.
We sometimes ask them because there's a lot of people that knew her, and they'll say things like, oh, she always made me happy, or she was somebody I could always talk to. And so we say it helped to honor her, and they just smile and they love it.
Last year, the school named Mindy Support Staff Member of the Year. Community members are celebrating the arrival of a beloved statue at the Joplin Public Library. Nearly 1 year ago, the full bronze statue called "Two Kids on a Bench" was stolen from outside the library. Although the suspect in the theft was identified by Joplin police and is awaiting trial, the statue was never found. A replacement statue has officially taken its place thanks to donations from community members and the Kiwanis Club of Joplin, who donated the original.
I would see them interacting with it and their kids taking photos with it every day, but I was still just surprised about how many questions we got, and even until the bench was installed last week, we've been still getting questions.
It reminds us of communities all together, bringing cultures together.
The Kiwanis Club of Joplin is also donating insurance to help protect the new replacement statue. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Fans of Cheez-It crackers can now get a full dining experience at the one and only Cheez-It Diner. And we're tracking severe thunderstorms for tonight. We'll have what to expect with Chris Mortar in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Memorial Park in Webb City. In Consumer Watch this morning, Memorial Day weekend is expected to be one of the busiest travel weekends in nearly 2 decades, according to AAA. So when is the best time to avoid the roads? Jen Sullivan has tips for travelers driving or flying to their destination.
If you're driving or flying this Memorial Day weekend, expect plenty of company on the roads and in the skies.
We're expecting the second busiest Memorial Day weekend of air travel since we started tracking at the beginning of the century.
AAA estimates nearly 44 million people will travel 50 miles or more this holiday weekend. That's a 4% increase from last year. Most people will be driving to their destination, with more than 38 million drivers expected to be on the roads. So, when's the best time to avoid the traffic?
We see the busiest times to be on the road is Thursday and Friday evenings, when you've got the travelers mixing in with the regular commuters.
Heading out before 11 a.m. on Thursday or after 7 p.m. on Friday and returning home after 7 p.m. on Monday night is the best time to be driving. And when it comes to gas prices, expect to pay slightly more this year. The national average price for a regular gallon of gas as of Monday was $3.59, according to AAA. That's about 5 cents higher than this time last year. If you're driving, it's not just your tank you should check.
Folks should check their tire pressure, make sure everything in their car is in working order before you set out on a long road trip.
Airports will likely see a spike in travelers too. More than 3.5 million people will be flying. It's expected to be the most crowded Memorial Day weekend at airports since 2005. So give yourself plenty of time to check in and get through security. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
A week after dozens of Red Lobster restaurants around the country abruptly closed their doors, the company announced that it has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The seafood chain said it plans to sell substantially all of its assets, though its roughly 650 restaurants remaining are expected to stay open and operating during the bankruptcy process. Red Lobster reported huge losses due to the popularity of its endless shrimp promotion last year. Bread, milk, diapers, and thousands of other household staples are getting a price cut at Target stores. The retailer says it's taking action because consumers are feeling the pressure to make the most of their budget amid concerns over inflation. Target says it has already lowered prices on roughly 1,500 items, with more discounts coming in the weeks ahead. And fans of Cheez-It crackers can now get a full dining experience at the one and only Cheez-It Diner in Woodstock, New York. Menu items include milkshakes, cheeseburgers, mac and cheese, and even a cheesecake, all blended or topped with pieces of the cheesy snack. The Cheez-It Diner is open now through this Memorial Day weekend. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
I enjoy Cheez-Its, but I don't know if I enjoy them quite that much to travel up to Woodstock just to go to a Cheez-It Diner. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe you will. What we are looking at as we get our day underway is an actually relatively pleasant start to the day. We're at 70 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh, but that's an indication as to the kind of instability we have in place. Our average high is about 77. Some of us, like Chanute, for example, earlier, not far off of that at 74. Same with Veneta at 74. 69, Iola. We got 60s, Neosho, Monette, and Cassville as well. The rest of us into the low 70s out there. So again, well above where we're supposed to be. As kids get on the bus this morning, it's going to be warm. It's going to be breezy. 71, sunny. Winds gusting to 25, and we have those thunderstorms tonight. We're going to break that all down here in just a moment. But in between here and those thunderstorm chances, we're going to have south winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. So be aware of that. That's outside of any thunderstorm chances. We're just looking at gusty south winds out there as well. By the time kids come home, about 87, and out in southeast Kansas, the beginning of our severe threat. Thunderstorms out there starting to fire up. We're going to take an in-depth look at those thunderstorms and our severe chances today and tomorrow here in just a moment. It's also about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after this break. But first, as we do traditionally at this time, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Nate in conversation with the stars of the popular Showtime series The Chi, who tackle the conversation around mental health in their new season. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're starting in Chanute with Emery Tinsley celebrating birthday number 6. Happy birthday.
And a happy 10th birthday to Briggs Beasley from Girard.
And we've got Caleb Morgan in Carthage celebrating birthday number 36. Happy birthday, Caleb.
And over in Erie, a happy birthday to Ronald Olson, turning 87 today. It says, happy birthday to my precious husband and best friend. Love you.
And in Stella, Sean and Jerica Doty are celebrating their 6th year of wedded bliss. A very happy anniversary to the Dotys.
And also celebrating an anniversary is Ryan and Amy Dooley. They're celebrating their 8th anniversary from Columbus.
And another anniversary, I think this is the most we've had in a while on here. Mark and Carla Howerton celebrating their 13th anniversary in Carthage.
And continuing our birthday list with Judy Mills from Girard. Happy birthday, Judy.
All right, that was a pretty good list of birthdays and anniversaries. Like I said, I think that's the most anniversaries we've had in a hot minute. And of course, we want to have more birthdays.
Yes,
we want to have more anniversaries. How do they do it?
Go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com, and be sure to include the date, the month, and the day when you submit those birthday and anniversary submissions, and to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
All of that very essential information so that your birthday or anniversary, or if you're submitting both, air at the appropriate time. All right. Let's talk about our severe threat. We got a lot going on. We have an alert day today. This is why. At this time, we have a low to elevated tornado threat across parts of the area. We have an elevated to enhanced risk for large hail out there. So the enhanced area is indicating the greater probabilities of seeing large hail. Just in case, because it occurred to me, we show you these things a lot. I'm going to break down some of what that means. The higher on the scale it is, the better the chances are of that event happening. So that's something I want to emphasize there. So we can get a very high risk for large hail, for example. It doesn't necessarily mean we're talking baseball size, but it means that there's a very high probability of seeing large hail. In this case, though, we also have that significant category, and that can be added to any of these as well. Those hash marks indicating the significant category, and what that means is in this zone, if you do see hail, you have a chance of seeing very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or larger. And then we also have a low to elevated wind risk out there. And as mentioned, today is not the only severe threat we have this week. As we go into tomorrow, it's a little more confined. It's a little lower across the area, but along and to the south of I-44, we have a low to elevated risk for thunderstorms. Tomorrow is one of those one-off days, as we've discussed, where the thunderstorm threat and the severe threat is in the morning. And I'm not talking 3 a.m. or something, because we've had that before. We're talking a chance for strong to severe thunderstorms after 6 a.m. and before noon, which is an oddity, not rare, but uncommon. And then Thursday does return us to the expectations and timing with severe weather, as we have a low to elevated risk across, once again, the entire area. Those thunderstorms expected late afternoon, evening, and into the overnight hours as well. So let's talk about our thunderstorms today. And this is something I really, we've been talking about it. Some of you, if you've been watching all morning, you've heard me say it 100 times, but if those just tuning in, there is at least a small possibility that we could see thunderstorms developing in southeastern Kansas ahead of the front as early as 11 o'clock this morning. That probability is very low, but it is showing up on some of the computer models, and it is on this future track as well. If we see them, initially they'll be relatively isolated, but our environment this morning and through today is set up in such a way where any storms that develop will be able to intensify rather quickly. There is virtually no cap in place. We've discussed that. It's what stops thunderstorms from developing. That cap is virtually non-existent right now and is expected to remain that way. And we have enough instability. Basically, we have the gasoline across the area. We just need that match. The cold front that's out to our west will be the bigger match as we go into the afternoon hours, but we will keep an eye on that possibility of thunderstorm development as early as 11 this morning. If that does not happen, then the greater probabilities, and this is what we're really keeping an eye on, is as that front approaches, that's when we're going to see thunderstorms begin to develop, and they're going to develop rather quickly. They're going to intensify rather quickly, and they're going to organize very quickly. So that's the other part, though, is you may get a storm that develops almost right over you, but intensifies just immediately to your east. That cold front also not having a huge impact on our temperatures at all, but it will bring us those thunderstorms. So by about 5 o'clock, here we are, Pittsburgh, you're getting into it, Fort Scott, getting into Cherokee County, so just outside of, say, Riverton, Galena, Baxter Springs. We're talking out there. Then we've got it stretching back down into Craig County and entering in Lamar, Nevada, approaching Stockton, Joplin, just outside of your back door. And by 7, that line already, look at how quickly it moves. By 7, Joplin's on the back end of showers. Pittsburgh, you're already clear. Most of southeast Kansas already clear. But out here along I-44 is where we're going to continue to see that threat for severe weather out there. The last of it will be wrapping up about 10 o'clock tonight And then as we go into tomorrow morning, by the time we go on the air, more showers, thunderstorms out there by between 5 and 7, and those thunderstorms that roll through, see how quickly they roll through? By 10, they're out. Those could be strong to severe, and then we'll see more scattered storms throughout the day, and it won't be until about 3 o'clock tomorrow that we see the skies clear, at least briefly, ahead of more storms on Thursday. We're going to have more on your forecast, plus the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we make the switch to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how a motocross cyclist is showing the world that age is just a number.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Sam Butcher, the creative founder, force behind Precious Moments artwork, has died. The company shared the news on its Facebook page yesterday. The public was first introduced to the Precious Moments artwork in 1975 on greeting cards and posters. The first figurines debuted in 1978, and the Precious Moments Chapel first opened its doors in 1989 in Carthage, Missouri. Sam Butcher was 85 years old. Authorities say 17-year-old Alonzo Juan drowned at a Big Hill Lake swimming area Saturday afternoon, just hours after he received his diploma from Field Kinley High School. A GoFundMe has been established to return his body to Guatemala, where his parents are living. You can find a link on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The next stop on the Great American Flag Swap 2024 takes place today at Jake's Fireworks in Pittsburgh at noon. People can bring in their old, tattered flags to be replaced with brand new ones, courtesy of KOAM and Fox 14. The old flags will receive a proper disposal. The event always serves as a great way to give something to the community and to support veterans. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Quick check of that forecast. Reminder, we have that severe threat throughout the afternoon and evening with all hazards possible out there. Best chances are going to be between 3 and 10 later today. Highs today, upper 80s. Don't forget, south winds also gusting upwards of 40 outside of the storms. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible tomorrow and Thursday as well. More storms Friday and Saturday, and we'll get a break from the activity Sunday and Monday. But a lot to keep an eye on today.
Absolutely. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making dilly-dally potato salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle of the SEK Humane Society joins us in the studio with a four-legged friend.
And Charlene Patton joining us back from Topeka with another incredibly healthy recipe. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. Again, we'll be watching for thunderstorms as we head through the day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning with more storm chances at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.